All right, good evening, everybody. And here we are again this evening for our weekly seminar in the EWG community, the ELPIDA Women Grow. And this evening, we have a special person in our midst, a special guest to take us on a very, very important topic, a very critical topic that affects a whole lot of people in their careers, and that is why we are treating this. And she is the best person for this because she's a business consultant, so she does trainings and she interviews a lot of people. So this is a forte, and you can be sure that you're going to be getting the best this evening. So make sure that you pay rapt attention this evening. And the topic we're going to be treating is developing interview skills to impress prospective employers. A lot of people don't know how to pitch themselves. A lot of people don't know how to, the things they need to pay attention to, especially Gen Zs now, because I've heard different stories with people wearing slippers to interviews. People, as in, it's ridiculous. A lot of things that a lot of people think that don't matter, but they really, really, really still matter. And that is why today's topic is very, very important. And I have an amazing person in our midst as a guest. She is a friend, a sister, and an amazing coach and consultant. So just give me a minute so I can read um a profile for you all, and you will know that indeed she is more than qualified to speak about this tonight. So her name is Blessing Aggreh, a graduate from the University of Benin with a BSc in foreign languages, and she finished a postgraduate last week in business, yes, business administration. And so you can see that she's more than qualified for this. And she's a dynamic professional with a rich background in business and personal development. And she's a personal development coach. She's an HR consultant and CEO of coached by Blessing Consultant, CBB, and Business Development Executive at C&I Leasing PLC. Serving as the Executive Director of Blessing Aggreh Foundation, she spearheads impactful initiatives in women's economic empowerment and girl child coaching. As a trained digital facilitator for MHCD Academy, she imparts knowledge through Naplage Metaverse. On her YouTube channel, she shares valuable insights. So make sure you go and subscribe to that on business and personal development. While our book club, CBB Audio Book Club and coaching program, the Coaches Corner. This woman is loaded. Seriously, I usually think probably she has one superpower. Seriously. Because she's doing so much. Imagine she having a foundation, she's a consultant, she just finished her MSc, she has kids, she's married, she is she's also heads the Coaches Corner. She has a coaching program. Do you understand? Do you know what it takes to run all of these things? She really, really has superpowers, right? I'm sure you all can agree with me. So she's the visionary behind the Women's in Business community. And I need to add this. That is a community of almost 500 women. Almost 500, over 400 women, yes. And Blessing connects vendors and buyers, offering support and training, as in the training she gives to those people I'm sure you can't get it any other place. So if you are not in that community, you are missing big time. All right, so she offering support and training to women in business realm with a fervent advocacy for women empowerment. Blessing's passion lies in providing SMEs and startups with clarity, opportunities, and resources through coaching and mentorship program. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, if you can stand up on your feet, I know I can't see you. But if you can really stand up and give this amazing woman a round of applause for me and for gracing this for gracing this occasion today, this seminar today. We are more than grateful and more than privileged to have her on this platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause in the comment section, or whether you can stand up where you are, that will be much more appreciated, right? Please help me to welcome my friend, sister, and amazing coach and consultant, CEO, everything joined together. She's a woman of many caps. Please join me as I welcome Blessing Aggreh. Thank you so much.
Hello, Coach Dami. Good evening, and thank you so much. Look at me blushing already.
All
All of those
right, you deserve
profiles.
more than that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter, Stephanie. Thank you, Temitokbe. I can see you all. Thank you for joining. And sorry that we started 1 hour behind time. I had to take care of health first. So thank you so much. So quickly, I have just 30 minutes to do this. So Coach Dami, please, you're going to put a tab on my timing just in case I'm overshooting. Just send me a reminder. Because my
All right.
slides is actually so much, and I may just have to compress all of the information there because this topic is not something that we can speak and finish up in one session, not at all. Thank you so much, Dennis. I see you. Thank you for joining. So just like my profile has been read, my name is Blessing Aggreh, and I'm the founder of CBB Consultants and of course, so many other organizations which was read in my profile. I'm humble, and Coach Dami Oguntade is a friend, a sister, and a colleague. And she's the only one I can do this, even in the midst of, little health challenges. I still had to come on board for her. So thank you so much, everyone. And I hope that this session is going to be impactful for us. And we're going to, after this session, be able to grant our first job interview, or rather, have our first job interviews. So thank you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is bordered around developing interview skills to impress prospective employers. How do you develop impressive or develop interview skills to impress your employers? Like Coach Dami said while she was doing the introduction, right now in this Gen Z's generation, we have them coming to interviews wearing slippers, coming to interviews wearing earrings as the males, coming to interviews with a lot of, attitude. But even if they are in the Gen Z, or rather, even if they are the Gen Zs, are these attitudes, are they right? Do you think your hiring manager would find it interesting? I've had a couple of times where I sent back some persons probably because they were not properly dressed for an interview. I told them, I will not have this interview with you. You have to go, dress professionally, dress appropriately, then come back for the interview. And they did, they obliged. So the truth is, some of these people, they do not know. And the truth is, if you do not know, you wouldn't be able to do much. So what are interview skills and why do they matter? I believe the focus tonight, or most of the persons on this call tonight, or the persons who are going to, have a handy of this YouTube video, probably at the end of this session, Dami is definitely going to put it on the YouTube link, are those persons whom this topic concerns. You could be a job applicant, or you could just be an individual. You already have a job, but of course, you're looking at scaling up. You're looking at, projecting your career. You're looking at, getting better opportunities, because the truth is, even from the first day you get a new job, you begin to look out for another opportunity. Someone told me that and I never believed it, but that's the truth. The first day you get into an organization, you are already looking out for the best or for the next organization you're going to apply for. And it is not wrong, because the truth is, as humans, it's our nature to always look for better opportunity. So even when I ask you, and so why are you leaving this job, this current job? The current job, the pay from you, according to you, is it's so comfortable. Everything is comfortable from your own, side of the story or whatever you've said. But the truth is, we as humans, our needs, our desires, our wants are insatiable. We are always wanting to go for the best. So there's nothing wrong if you already have a job and you're still on this platform because you want to gain skills so that you can be able to navigate to the next level. So as a way of introduction, why interview skills matter? Why do we think that interview skills matter? First of all, first impression counts. I hope you know. The first impression matters a lot. You get only one chance to stand out. So if, of course, you all know that I'm a recruitment consultant, I interface with various job seekers every day. Even tomorrow, Monday, I already have interviews scheduled for some persons. I do interviews both virtual and both physical. So I get to meet them on a daily basis. And I tell you the truth, first impression matters, and you have just one chance to stand out. From this talk tonight, I believe that at the end of this session, somebody will be able to create the best first impression, that even if what you are saying in the course of the interview does not make sense, but your first impression already covers it all. Now, we must understand that more than qualification, employers want to see your personality and potential fit. It is good to have a very good CV, because of course, anybody could create CV. I could go on Canva and I just, develop a very mind-blowing CV from Canva. I could even go on ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, my name is Blessing Aggreh, and I am a social media content creator. I want you to generate a CV that befits my profession. I want you to generate a CV that befits this business or this job interview that I want to go for. In the twinkle of an eye, ChatGPT will generate a powerful CV that even you would be amazed. You're like, is this me? So we must understand that more than CV, more than your qualifications, more than your degrees, your potential employers, potential CEOs, potential hiring managers wants to see your personality and your potential fit. Now, you must understand that interview is a two-way street. This is what so many people do not understand. I see a lot of people come to interview and their hand akimbo. They're looking scared from up to down, like, oh my God, what is happening? I'm not here to accuse you. I'm not here to judge you. You're supposed to be here and let's have an interaction. So we must understand that, first of all, if this is even the right place for you to work. Now, skill is the ability for you to do something well. When we talk about developing interview skills, what is skill? Skill is your ability to do something well. Please go to the next slide. So when you say, I have the skill to do this thing, it means that you have the ability to do that thing well and to even exceed it. Now, what are interview skills? Interview skills. I see it's different. Please, you can help me mute. You're distracting me. Okay, thank you. So interview skills, they are techniques and strategies that you use to showcase your strength and also to build rapport, going beyond your resume to have a lasting impression. Because the truth is, fine, I could have seen your resume, I could have gone through your resume, but why do I want to meet you in person? Because there is a lot that I'm going to finally take away if I meet you in person. Meeting in person, whether via virtual or physical, determines if I am going to hire you for that role. Also, prospective employers. Who are prospective employers? Your prospective employers, you all know, they are individuals that are assessing your fits. Like me, as a hiring manager, as a recruitment consultant, I am your prospective employer. I am going to assess your fit, whether you are a perfect fit for this company. Because what I do, I recruit for my clients. So my clients come to my DM and say, hello, CBB consultant. I know you're into recruitment and I require you to recruit for XYZ role. So what I do, I schedule interviews for my candidates who probably are on my platform or via whatever platform I get them. I schedule them for my interview. And I want to know if they are a perfect fit for my clients, because my client already tells me that I want you to interview for this role. This person should possess these qualities. This candidate must possess these skills and these abilities. So this is what I am looking out for. So we must also understand that prospective employers are those that are looking for skills, values, and cultural alignment. If I'm going to hire you, then I'm going to be looking out for these things because they are key and they are important if I will be able to satisfy my client's need. Okay, now, what is the goal for every employer / hiring manager? You can go to the next slide. The goal. I said on my slide that the goal of hiring managers, you must understand their goal, because if you do not understand what we are looking out for, you may not be able to come or approach your interview with a prepared mind. So the goal of the hiring manager is not just to hire people who need a job. Trust me. If I want to hire people who need a job, I could just see anybody who's a job seeker and say, oh, you need a job? Okay, just follow me. The next day, I take you to the office and you've resumed. But that is not the goal. The goal is to hire people who believe in their organization. The goal is to hire people who believe in my client's organization, their mission, their vision, and the job, the work that is involved in the position. So every hiring manager knows that they can hire people to do the job and they will just come on board just to work for the money. Why? I can also hire people who believe in the job and they will work for their passion. Working for the passion is the best, trust me. So if I go through, if I have an interview with you and I discover that you have the ability or you have the passion of the position and of the company at heart, trust me, you're going to be a best fit for me. Now, this is not the case of fake it until you make it. It is not in the general world where they say just package, just fake it until you make it. Social media. No, this is me and you interfacing. I want to hear you talk. I want to hear you respond to the questions. And I want you to also ask me questions. I want us to conversate. I want us to communicate. I want us to, to flow. I want to understand you. You understand? So you have to be genuine about your belief in an organization and its mission. That means that you have to research the industry. We're going to talk extensively about this one. You must research the industry, the company, the position. What industry are you? Are you in the hospitality industry? And you've not done a proper research about what is happening. What are the current trends in the hospitality industry? Now, the company you want to work for, you are coming for an interview, XYZ, fine. You're coming for an interview with a hiring recruitment consultant, CBB consultant. I may not be the one hiring you directly. So you may have to go do your research. You may ask me questions. Hello, madam, please, which organization is hiring? And I will tell you, XYZ is hiring. So you go and do your assignments. What is your assignment? You're researching. You're researching about the company, their core values, their mission. And trust me, you have the social media to leverage. You have the internet to leverage for you to be able to get all of this information. You should also research the position. You don't just come to an interview, because we have a lot of cases whereby people just come like as if they just woke up and they just dressed up and they're just coming to an interview. And you're asking them, so this role that you are interviewing for, what are the job descriptions for this role? Or what are you expected to do? What is your job? Walk me through your day-to-day activities of this role. And you discover that they are blank. So it goes a long way to tell you that most people, most job applicants do not do proper research for the role and even for the company or even for the industry. So having done so well, if you have done all of this, it will help to shape the impression that you convey as a candidate, the way you answer your questions, and of course, the way you demonstrate that you are the right candidate for the job. So this is the goal for every hiring or every employer. The goal is to look out for the best. The goal is not just to hire, but to hire people who believe in their organization, who believes in the mission and the vision. And you can only believe when you have done your research. So let's go to the next slide. How do you improve or improving your interview skills can have more confidence when you are able to improve your interview skills? This will help you to develop and build confidence. You can go to the next slide. Poise and professionalism while applying for work. Improving interview skills, I said, can help you to have more confidence. When you're able to improve your interview skills, it helps you to build confidence. You know, professionalism while applying for the job or for the work. So there are key interview skills that I've listed out that we must master to feel confident in any interview situation. One of the things that you must look out for your interview is to build confidence. Trust me, you can build, in fact, you may be saying things that are not correct, but the confidence at which you're saying it will begin to even confuse the interviewer. The interviewer will be like, is it not this thing that I know that you're talking about? See the confidence you're using to say it. I am not trying to tell you not to make proper research and not to say things that are correct, but I'm trying to let you know that there is a place for confidence during your interview. And trust me, when you have done the previous thing we talked about, like doing the research, researching about the industry, researching about the company, and of course, researching about the position, these things will put you on the level of confidence. These things will help you to build confidence when you eventually come for the job interview. Now, what are interview skills? Interview skills are the emotional and tactical techniques. I'll just run through this. That makes job seekers more effective, like we said, when interviewing for a new position. So if you're able to develop these interview skills that I'm going to list out to you, it will position you as an authority in that job, in that position, in that role that you're trying to apply for. Now, these skills are important to gain, just like the technical and the workplace skills. Remember, we have technical skills and we have workplace skills, which the workplace skills can also be called your soft skills. So you need to perform well in this position. I listed something. I said there are 3 core competencies. 3 core competencies. Number 1 is creativity. Number 2 is collaboration. And number 3 is communication. As an as a person or as a candidate coming for an interview, you must master these competencies. You must master these skills. Creativity, talking about creative thinking, your ability to your ability to imagine, your problem-solving skills. We talk about collaboration, your emotional intelligence, your teamwork, your adaptability. We want to know, are you someone that can work in a team? Are you someone that is adaptable, or you are just static? You are just there. You are just you don't want to change. You don't want to. So we want to know if you have the collaborative skill or spirit. So also communication. When we talk about communication, everybody understands that communication is very key when you are coming for an interview. So when I'm saying your communication skills, I mean, how do you express yourself, your language, your empathy, both the verbal and the non-verbal communication skills. You can go to the next. Now, okay, I said 11 job interview skills that you should develop. 11 job interview skills that you should developed. Skills you can use before, during, and after an interview with a potential employer. Now, before the interview, we talk about the self-preparation skill. So I'm going into the skill proper now. What are the skills that you need? How do you develop the right skills to be able to impress your prospective interviewer? So before the interview, there is what they call the self-preparation skill or the self-preparation. We have the researching. We have mastering your emotions. We have the logical planning. Let's run. I'm going to explain it down. During the interview now, at the time where you are on the interview, these are the skills that you must already possess or you must already learn. Communication skills, introducing yourself. I'm going to show you how to introduce yourself, presenting your qualifications, listening, and of course, asking questions. All of these are done during the interview. Let's go. Now, after the interview, what do? We have the follow-up with your interviewer and reflecting on your interview and redefining the methods. So if all of these things that I've stated before interview, during interview, and after the interview, if we're able to get all of these steps, nothing will stop you from not landing that job. If you get all of these steps precept by precept, and if you go back to practice them, trust me, in your next job interview, you're going to definitely land that job. Now, okay, before the interview, let's talk about before the interview. We're talking about before the interview, we are emphasizing on self-preparation. This is not the interview day now. You have gotten the invites for the interview. The hiring manager have sent you an email. Dear Dennis, you have been scheduled for an interview for so day, for so organization, and for so role. Dear Temitokbe, you have been scheduled for an interview. So this is before the interview. What do you do before the interview quickly? Much of successful interviewing has to do with being able to align your unique skills and qualification with the position you are applying for. I said you must write down your personal and professional strengths, including your accomplishments, which you are most proud of, your values, and your job experience. You can also reference your resume, your cover letter, and the details of any prior project if needed. Understand also that self-preparation can put your own strengths at the forefront of your mind and make it easier to articulate them in a conversation. So what here is talking about is that self-preparation is all about you practicing, getting to know yourself, where you stand on the mirror and you are reacting, your elevator pitch, your introduction, how to introduce yourself. That is all that entails in your self-preparation. Now, here is a sample answer for a question like, tell me about yourself, or why do you think you're a good fit for this role? You know, so if you're doing self-preparation, you are already rehearsing this question in your house or wherever you are. You could answer. The answer is there, just not to waste time. I am passionate about leveraging my skills. This is you answering now, answering the question of tell me about yourself, or why do you think you're a good fit for this role? You now say, I am passionate about leveraging my skills in specific field, e.g., you can mention whatever field you are on. Remember, while you are answering this, you must emphasize on that role. If you're applying in the hospitality industry, you must emphasize your skill in the hospitality industry, because you cannot be coming to interview with me as your interviewer for the role of probably an F&B manager, a food and beverage manager in a hotel, and you're telling me about digital marketing. It doesn't correlate. So you must talk about the current position, you know, that you are applying for. So you can say something like, I am passionate about leveraging my skills in specific field, e.g. digital marketing, to drive meaningful results. Over the past years, I've worked on projects. So you can read all of this for yourself. If you want the slide, I can share, Coach Dami Lola, with our permission, we can share the slides to you. You can reach out to our DM and we'll give you the slide. Just so I don't take too much time. I have, you know, answered the question of tell me about yourself. Now, the emphasis is that you are selling yourself. That is the emphasis. And while you are selling yourself, you are focusing on the job role. You are also focusing on what you are bringing on board. You say, I've worked on projects where I manage specific tasks like social media campaign or product launches, which allowed me to increase mention and achievement like engagement or revenue by a percentage, specific percentage. Always add data to whatever you're saying when it comes to interviews. You can also say, I'm particularly proud of a recent campaign. Now, this is you telling us something that you have done before that must also be relating to the job that you are applying for. I am excited about the opportunity to bring my creativity and strategic approach to your team. You are selling yourself to me. There is no way me as an interviewer will not be amazed, because I will know that you have done your own homework. You have done the self-preparation aspect. Especially because I admire, you can now mention something specific about the company, like its mission and vision. This can only happen when you have gone to do research on the company. I feel that my background and strengths aligns with the goals of this role. I am eager to contribute to the organization or whatever, just as a way of ending it. So this is a sample of your self-preparation. Let's go to the next one. The next slide, please. Okay, so now what are your values from the previous response? Because remember that even while you are selling yourself, you must also sell your values. Because some of your interviewers may say, okay, tell me about what are your values? You can say, one of my values is passion for results. You must emphasize a commitment to achieving meaningful outcomes shown by your enthusiasm for driving measurable success in your field. So one of your values could be passion for results. It could be clear communication. It could be creativity and strategic thinking, or alignment with the company's mission. So all of these things is a continuation of you introducing yourself. Now, number two, for that's before the interview. Now we're talking about before the interview. We've talked about one is to do your what was number one? Self-preparation. Now, number two is researching. Thorough research into the company you want to work for, including company reviews, its product, its services, even its competitors. Because all of these things helps to build confidence in you. When you are responding to the interviewer, you are not showing yourself like you are a novice. You are talking like someone that knows your onion. And there is something about people that know their onion. They are always attention getters. Because you get my attention. When you're telling me so much that even me, I may never know about the company that I'm recruiting for. Do you understand? So I'm like, oh, wow, this is interesting. So now you must source everything you can find online about the company and jot down your thoughts on what it might be like to work there, as well as any questions you may have about the company culture and the role. There's something about interviewers, and it comes from the place of lack of confidence. You don't ask questions. You just take everything hook, line, and sinker. Because why? Possibly you did not do the research on that company. It is not every organization that you should work for. There are some companies that do not have company culture. They don't have, in fact, they don't have any culture at all. When you get in there, 2-3 weeks, you're already looking for another job. And that is because you did not do a proper research on that company before going there. So like I said earlier when we started, interview is a two-way street. It's not just for the interviewer. When the interviewer asks you questions, you can also ask for feedback, ask for clarification, or, for further explanation. Write down specific ways you can contribute to the company and be a part of its mission and vision. Okay, and what you may have outlined. Okay, something is blocking my view. Okay, and what you may have outlined in a resume or cover letter. So all of this about research is you researching the company. That's all. Go online, research the company, go on LinkedIn. The companies are there. Most of these companies. Research them, because it's not everywhere you work. It's not every company that will help you to build your career. Some companies, in fact, there is a company I recruited for, and sincerely, I wouldn't want to say this on this platform, but I'll just throw a hint of what I'm trying to say. One of the staff called me and she was complaining bitterly that she's feeling depressed in the place because the environment is so toxic, and she never knew it. So this is why we must do research before we apply. But don't say because you are looking for a job, so you are desperate, whatever comes your way, you are taking it. No, please. No, no, no. Now, how do you master your emotions? Is that the next? Okay, yeah. Even with thorough preparation, the experience of anticipating a job interview can feel both exciting and stressful. So this is another way of the before the job preparation. Before the interview preparation, we talked about self-preparation. We talked about research, where you need to go research about the company, their core values, their mission, and if the company is a fit for you to work. Number 3 is mastering your emotions. You have to practice all of these before the interview time. You know, mastering your emotions can help you to calm down during the interview process so that you can focus on making the best decision for your career. Except you do not want to grow your career in an upward trajectory, you just want to take anything that comes your way. But if you want to grow your career, then you must put in place all of these things. To build emotional resilience for your job search, review yourself. Preparation and company research notes several times. This can give you a confidence boost before the interview. So like I said, stand in the mirror, all the things you have written out about how to answer the interview questions, about some of the things that you've noted about the company, their core mission, their values, their mission, their vision, their profile, everything about them, you know, you have to know it so that when you're answering questions, I understand that, oh yes, this person, this candidate has done his homework. Now let's go over to the next slide. How do you master your emotion in practical? Interview can be very tenseful. That's the truth. I said deep breathing to calm your breath, to calm your nervous system. I remember the time where I went for an interview in Port Harcourt. Then I just finished my NYSC, and of course, I was called for an interview by MTN. I was so excited. I wanted to work with MTN. MTN, really? They scheduled me for the interview. I was so excited, over excited that I went there and I flopped. I had to leave Benin, I think 2 days before. I went to Port Harcourt. Then I was not even married. I went to Port Harcourt. I stayed with an uncle, like my uncle. I put up in their house. The whole of that night, I did not sleep. I was reading. Ask me what I was reading. I was tensed. I was nervous. And I did not know that I'm supposed to what? Try to calm my nerves before the interview. And the next day, look at me jumping on the cab, and I'm already in the MTN office. The first question that came, I was blank, totally blank. I began to pray in my mind. I said, what's happening? Is it that village people followed me to this interview? First question that came, I was totally blank. But do you know what? My confidence and my presentation won the hearts of the interviewers. The lady just found a liking in me, you know. But in the interview, the core interview, I did not answer a shikem question. I was totally blank. I was asked, what's the meaning of SMEs? What's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of... I was just looking, something that I read all through the night. In fact, while I was there, I was still reacting, you know. So please, before you go for the interview, or even on the day of the interview, try to practice deep breathing to calm your nerve system. Now, to reduce jitters on the day of interview, try deep breathing. Get in a comfortable position and slowly inhale, filling your lungs with air. If you are there, you can do it now. It helps me. Sometimes when I feel I'm a bit tensed up or I'm a bit agitated, I take a deep breath. So you can actually take a deep breath. Probably you're already seated in the interview room. And of course, there's always this fright of interview when you get to see a lot of people seated for that same role. There is every tendency that you want to be tensed up. So you just take a deep breath. Breathe out slowly. Take a deep breath as many times as you can until you are calm. And with this calmness, you can go in. And when I got to know this, I started applying it in my other job interview months. Also, let's talk about logical planning, logistical planning. Now, is this during or let me see. Okay, this is still before the interview. All of the things we have been saying is before the interview. Logistical planning. So before the interview, you must make sure you put all your things together. For every interview, you want to arrange all the details of the experiences, from how to travel to the location, whatever. If the interview is going to be on Zoom, try to get the link on time. Try to make sure that you have a very good internet where you are. If it's going to be physical, try to get the address so that it's not going to be on that day that you're calling. Hello, ma, please. Please excuse me. That you are calling. Hello, ma. Please, I didn't get the address. Can you send it to me again? No, that shouldn't be the right time to do that. So cross all your T's and dot all your I's before the interview day. That is what I mean when I say logistical planning. Whatever it will take you to get to where you want to go, if it is finances, whatever it is at all. So practice this skill, gather logical details from your interviewer, like I said, as early as possible. List out all the arrangements and everything that you need to make it what a memorable one for you. So that on the day of the interview, you're not sweating. You see a lot of people come for interview and they're sweating. You're wondering, what happened? Did they pursue you down here? So that is why it's even advisable to be at the interview venue 30 minutes before, just so that you are calm. You are not agitated. You are not tensed up. You don't go there and forget everything that you have probably studied or learned, just like what happened to me in MTN. Did I get the job? I didn't get the job. In fact, the lady called me to come back again that same day. After the interview, they asked me to wait just to come back and see if I could get myself. I did not get myself all through that interview. I was so tensed up. I was so agitated. In fact, when I came back, it was a very big lesson, and I did not forget that lesson in a hurry, because that job was something that I really wanted to have. I really, really wanted to have that job, but unfortunately, I didn't have the job. But fortunately, I got the job, but I got it again as a contract staff, not as a full-time staff for MTN. And I worked for them for quite a number of, was it up to 2 years? But it was contract, I think 2 years or 1 year plus, and that was it. Okay. Now, the next slide, we've talked about logical planning. Now, let's talk about during the interview. What are the procedures? What are the things that you need to look out for during the interview? Brushing up on your effective communication skills. Coach Dami? Brushing up on your effective communication skills. Skills can help you to establish, okay, my slide is up. So I said during the interview, one of the things that you should look out for now, this is the day of the interview, and you are seated, you are ready, you have studied, you have done everything. What you should look out for is your communication skill. Brushing up on your effective communication skill can help you to establish a rapport with your interviewer. This rapport can only happen when you have also done a proper research, because you cannot just go there and be talking rubbish. You wouldn't want to be arguing or asking questions of things that do not make sense. So for you to be able to also have an effective communication skill during your interview, you must have done a proper research. Verbal communication skills can include choosing your words correctly and describing your qualification clearly. Non-verbal communication includes smiling, nodding, and making what? Eye contact. You see a lot of people during interviews, they are squeezing their face. They are not smiling. You're seeing that, in fact, they are seated in one corner. They don't even want to shift from where they are. Why the tense? You must be what? Be relaxed and communicate what? Properly. Now, also, we talk about practice. Practice good communication in advance by observing your body language in front of a mirror. You can ask your friend, say, I have an interview I want to go for. Can you please help me watch how I communicate with you? You can do all of these things just to be sure that you are on the right track. During the interview, it is okay to speak slowly and deliberately, even pause, to consider how you'd like to answer the interviewer's question. Nobody is forcing you. I've been on interviews whereby I've asked people questions and they pause before they respond. They pause. You just take a deep breath. You pause. You don't just jump into the response. You know, you pause. When you respond, you pause. You respond, you pause. All of these things helps you to what? To communicate effectively. So the next slide, please. Introducing yourself. We'll talk about introducing yourself during the interview. First of all, talking about communication. Now we said introducing yourself. You must understand that your introduction at the beginning of an interview, I am emphasizing this, can help to positive for the rest of the conversation. I've had interviews with candidates whereby our first, in fact, the introduction was not just it. I just made the interview as brief as possible, and that was the end. Okay, we're gonna get back to you, tops. Today, tomorrow, you're gonna get a feedback from us. Because why? The introduction was a turn off. So we must pay attention to our introduction at the beginning of an interview to help us set a positive tone for the rest of the conversation. After greeting your interviewer and thanking them for the chance to meet you, be ready to deliver a short professional introduction, or what I call the elevator pitch, especially if the interviewer says, tell me about yourself. This question is a question that is very common. So the best you can do for yourself is to even go and rehearse how to answer these kind of questions. When you get into an interview room, first of all, you greet your interviewer. Some people, some Gen Zs. In fact, I don't want to say just Gen Z. Some people, candidates, have the habit of just bashing into an interview room, and the next thing you're seated. And as you're seated, your handbag, especially for the ladies, their handbag, I don't know what's inside the handbag. They're trying to, all of those body languages are very, very, very turning off. They turn off a lot because it doesn't portray you like a professional. It doesn't portray you like someone who carries yourself with grace and poise. These things are what you need to learn. Because from the moment you step into the interview room, I am already assessing you. I am assessing your body language, your professionalism, your conduct, the way you carry yourself. I'm assessing all of these things. In fact, all of those things goes a long way to tell if you are a good fit for that job or not. Now, a good elevator pitch will present who you are as a person, your qualifications, and your enthusiasm for the position, among other details. I actually have an elevator pitch that I prepared. I wanted to read, but I do not have the time. My own elevator pitch, just to show you a guide. So now, you can prepare your introduction or elevator pitch in advance. In fact, this is even better. Prepare it in advance. If you don't know how to do it, there's nobody on this call that will tell me that they do not know how to use ChatGPT. In fact, AI is taking up everything. You can tell me to do a presentation. In 1 minute, I am preparing 100 slides presentation on that topic.
Good evening, everybody. I think we lost our speaker. Hi, everybody. I think we lost our speaker. And I also had network issue at the same time. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we're actually talking about introducing ourselves.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Are you seeing my... I can't even see myself, but it's fine.
We can
Okay,
see
so
you. We
what
can see you.
all I'm okay, because I'm using my phone right now. So all I'm talking about is you can prepare your introduction or elevator pitch in advance of the interview, using your notes, from your preparation steps, rehearse it several times so that you can deliver it naturally. So it's assumed that you have, practice your elevator pitch so that you can be able to answer that question of tell me about yourself. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, I even did like an illustration or an example. I said, here is an example for an elevator pitch for a hospitality candidate applying for a restaurant supervisor role. Okay. I want to see if I can join back on my laptop because it's better for me. My phone is too small and I'm finding it difficult to. Okay, let me just go on. So one of the examples that you're seeing on your screen now, I said, hello, my name is, you put your name there. And I have over 6 years of experience in the hospitality industry. So this is an example of an elevator pitch. So when we send you the slides, probably you can have a look at it and, of course, generate your own. Or better still, you can just go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to generate an elevator pitch for you, and you are good to go. Okay, the next slide, please. Presenting your qualification. This is also during the interview. Presenting your what? Your qualification. What do I mean when I say presenting your qualification? Once the interview is in motion, you would likely be answering a few behavioral or situational interview questions so that your interviewer can evaluate your qualification questions. Okay, I've come on here. So
recording in progress.
Okay, let me leave on this.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So once the interview... Okay, thank you. So once the interview is in motion, you will likely be asked a few behavioral or situational interview questions so that your interviewer can evaluate your qualification. Questions might start with something like, tell me about yourself, which we have talked about before. These questions can easily be solved using the STAR method. So there are some questions that your interviewer will ask you during the course of the interview, and this question can be solved using the STAR. There's what we call the STAR method. You're going to see it. Let's go further. The next slide. Now, here is an example of a response using the STAR method for question. A question like, tell me about a time when you solved a problem. When we say STAR, it's an acronym. S is for situation. The T is for task. The A is for action, and the R is for result. So if you want to answer a question using the STAR method, it means that you are going to tell us the situation. In my previous role as an assistant restaurant manager, we noticed a significant drop in customer satisfaction due to long wait time during peak hours. That was the situation. That was the challenge. That was the problem. Now, what was your task? My responsibility was to identify the cause and implement a solution to improve the guest experience. That was your task. What was the action? I analyzed, this is you now, the workflow and realized that the bottleneck was at the blah, 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 blah. This is the action you took. Now, what was the result? At the end of your action, what happened? As a result, our average wait time decreased by 20%. Remember, always try to use data. Be data driven, even when you are what? In an interview. Give us statistics, call out the data, and let's see it, put it in our front, you know? So you said as a result, our average wait time decreased by 20% and our customer satisfaction scores improved by 30%. Whoa. If I hear you tell me this, man, I know this guy knows his onion. Let's go to the next slide. So I'm going to be rushing now. The next slide is listening. Of course, you must be an active listener during the interview because all of these things are for during the interview phase. There are moments during an interview when the interviewer will do more of the talking, particularly to explain the position you are applying for. So you must listen. If you don't listen, you will keep saying, Ma, please, can you come again? Can you come again? So active listening is very, very key during your interview. Practice active listening so that you can decide if the position is for you. Because if you don't listen keenly, if you don't listen actively, you may not pick some of the salient things that are entailed in that job role that you're applying for. And at the end of the day, you discover that you have made a wrong decision. Let's go to the next slide. The next slide is asking questions. Of course, if you listen actively during the interview, you should be able to ask questions. I said it before. Do not go to the interview room looking so timid, looking so overcome already. You are so afraid. You are not even ready to say anything. When they ask you, just give a one-line response. I know that some of you practice it a lot. They say, don't talk more than you are asked in an interview. Just answer the question and leave it there. That's not true. How do you now emphasize to me that you have a good knowledge of what I'm asking you? So sometimes you must ask questions so that you can be able to understand where your interviewer is coming from. To practice these skills, write down your priority questions in advance. If you have done a proper research on that organization you want to work out for, then you should have questions for them. You can prepare questions. You can, like I said, leverage on ChatGPT, leverage AI. Go before your interview, tell AI to generate possible interview questions on this job role that you can ask the interviewer. Because when you ask me questions, I understand that, oh, okay, it is not about me anymore. The focus is now shifting from me. Do you understand? So you are telling me that, oh, you know what you are asking, or you have done your proper research on the job role. Also, let's go over. After the interview now, what do you do after the interview? We talked about before the interview, during the interview, and now it's after the interview. After the interview, you must follow up with your interviewer. Very important. These are the key skills. These are things that you must develop for you to have a successful interview. Coach Dami, are you there? The next slide, please. Follow up with your interviewer. Yes, this is very important. In the hours following your interview, write a follow-up email to your interviewer to thank them for the conversation. If you work with a recruiter like me, I am a recruiter. You may not meet the direct company that wants to hire you. It could be me, a third party person. You can take time to thank me or to send an email. Say, dear recruiter, dear hiring manager, I just want to say a big thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this interview with you and your organization. I hope to get whatever it is. You can ask ChatGPT to show you how to construct, a follow-up interview emails or responses. Now, in your email, you can be thankful and brief. Don't make it too long. Don't make it too long because it will look like you are trying to patronize the interviewer. And that is something that we do not like at all. After the interview, you're coming to my DM again and you're chatting me, hello, ma, hello, ma, hello, ma, I'm waiting for your response. No. We must be professional. So while you are doing the thank you, you can speak about your enthusiasm for the position. You can also talk about specific qualifications that you spoke about during the interview and a polite request for updates on the hiring process. A polite request so that it doesn't look like you are stalking the interviewer. If you don't hear back from the interviewer in several business days, you can also feel free to what? To follow up. So these are ways that you can be able to what? Follow up after the interview. The next slide. The next slide is reflecting on your interview and refining your methods. I had a lady whom I interviewed. She did something very fantastic, and this was it. You know, she came back to me and she was like, hello, ma, please, can I get an assessment on my interview? How did it go? Could you point out some areas where you think I need to improve on? Because eventually she did not actually get the job. We got back to her, but of course, with a negative response. Oh, we're sorry. We'll not be able to go further with you on this job process because why? Blah, 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 blah. Probably you're not fit for it and all of that. Okay. So, but after some weeks, she got back to me again and she was like, please, can you like give me a rating on that interview? I really want to know what happened, you know? So these are ways that we can reflect on our interview and refine our methods. Go back and check. What did you say and what did you not say? What were the things that you were supposed to say that you did not say? So, example of areas for improvement. You're looking at, okay, which area do I improve more on? Is it on my communication skill? Or is it on the technical skill of that job role? Is it that I didn't get it right? So there must be something that made you, not to be qualified for that role. So you can do a self-assessment or a self-reassessment, and of course, develop yourself again for the next interview. You can also do this using the STAR method to tell even better stories about your professional history. Okay? You could also be that you should conduct more thorough research on the company. It could be that you did not do a thorough research. I've had times whereby I've gone for interviews and I sincerely did not even know about the company at all. It was while I was there, I was asking the people there, please, what's the name of this company? Can you imagine that? So please, these are some of the mistakes that we made. We wouldn't want you to make such mistakes again. You must also brainstorm more insightful questions about a position that you are interested in. That's why I said learn to interact with your interviewer. Let it not be a one-way thing. It should be a two-way thing. Okay, they're telling you that you're coming on board for the role of a receptionist or for a secretary or for a content creator. Ask them questions specifically about the job role. So if I come on board, ma'am, what would you be expecting me to do? If I come on board, what are my job description? Even if you already check on ChatGPT, the job description for the content creator or for an F&B manager or for a storekeeper, you already know. But there are specific jobs that they want for you in that organization. So you must learn to what? Ask questions and get feedback. When you improve your interview skills, you can be more confident in your interviews. And you can also do more effective job of presenting your skills and talents to potential employers. So all of these things I have been saying boils down to doing a proper background, will I call it a background check now? A proper research on the company, on the industry, and even on the role that you're applying for. There shouldn't be any job interview that you should take casually. Even if it is the position of a housekeeper in a hotel, do not take it casual at all. Do not take it casual. There was a book I read by Robin Sharma, the leader who had no title, where he was emphasizing about a particular lady. She was a cleaner, the janitor in that office. She took the job so seriously. You need to see the enthusiasm when she talks about the way she carries her job. So that is how you should approach your job interview. Don't say, is it not just the position of a receptionist? I beg, let me just go there. I know what? No, don't take anyone casual. Because why? You wouldn't know whoever you are going to be meeting in that interview panel. I've gone for interviews whereby, in fact, that MTN interview I went for, it was a panel interview. It is not the one that you are seeing me face to face, coached by Blessing, only me in my office. No, it was a panel. People, you have 3, 4, 5 persons seated. This one will ask you questions. This one ask you. This one ask you. Everybody's throwing questions at you. And you're like, oh my God. Do you understand? So you must prepare yourself ahead, build more confidence. And of course, I see you scaling through in all of your interviews. What are the key steps to build strong interview skills? Go over to the next one. Let's keep that. Key steps to build strong interview skills. I said number one, we have said it before, so this is like a recap. Research the company, practice your responses, learn to stay authentic. Don't forge anything, don't phone. Don't come to interview and start forming a voice that you don't have. No, just be yourself, be authentic. Prepare stories ahead, like I said, using the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. I've got fantastic interviewers who have used this method. And of course, I see them as people who know what they are doing. Also, ask meaningful questions. Like I said, go beyond the basic. Learn to ask questions. Master your non-verbal cues, body languages, Enter confidently and make eye contact. Show, okay, go beyond the basic. Ask about team culture, future goals, and of course, all the questions that you may need to ask. Show enthusiasm and professionalism in your verbal cues. Show that you are interested in that job, in that role. Don't just go there, you are sitting and you're looking so dull. I've had a lot of people who come for interviews and you don't see passion in them. You don't even see the enthusiasm. It's just as if they're just coming because they heard that the job is paying 500,000 or 300,000 just because of the money. And trust me, there are a lot of things that interviewers look out for that will help them to know if you are passionate about the job. And if you have done a proper research on the job, the company, this should help you to solve that problem. Also, you must key skills to start developing for interviews. What are the key skills? Number one is emotional intelligence. Develop the emotional intelligence. These skills, go on Coursera. I dropped some things on one of my platforms today, some short courses. Coursera, Udemy, Alexin, even on what's it called? This other one. There are so many platforms. You just go. Most of these courses are just 3 hours, 1 hour. You can even go on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and put courses on emotional intelligence, understanding and managing emotions in a professional setting. Helping you to build connection and handle stress. Also, learn storytelling skills. You must be a good storyteller. If you are not, come and register in Coach Dami Lola's Brand Your Paths coaching. She has a coaching school, coaching projects that she's handling a lot. She can help you to develop these skills. You can also register on my platform. I have the CBB Finishing School, where we teach soft skills. That's the only thing we teach there. Soft skills, how to prepare you, employability skills, how you can go and, of course, scale through in whatever field and endeavor, not just even in interview now, So you must develop emotional skills, storytelling skills, and adaptability skills. The next slide. Being able to think, critical skill, personal branding skill. Coach Damilola is a personal branding coach and expert. So if you want someone who would hold you by the hand and train you on personal branding, how to stand out, you can call on her for that. How many of you have LinkedIn page, LinkedIn profile? Some of us don't. Because you see yourself so casual. You say, oh, I beg, I'm just an HND holder. I'm just an SSC holder. Even if you have to begin to build your personal brand. A lot of people I say, send me your LinkedIn profile because I want to see what you're posting there. What are you doing online? Somebody chatted me for a job role. Immediately, I blocked that person. Do you know what's on the status of that person? A naked picture of a woman. It was so irritating. I'm like, wow, like you want me to help you secure a job and see what is on your status. So I'm letting us know that some of these things go beyond your personal profile, your personal branding online, what you post. Sometimes when I have the time, I just go through some of our status. Not to say that I'm not a police, but I'm just letting you know that these are some of the little things that I may be looking out for. Do you understand? As an interviewer, I go on your status and everything I see every time. You're always in a club. You're always dancing with naked girls. You're always, fine. That could be your lifestyle. But if you want to be a professional, you must begin to minimize most of those lifestyles. How do you navigate common challenges? What employers want versus what the candidates want. Employers want assurance. That is what they want. Dedication and sense of alignment. How do you overcome these challenges? You must build confidence by understanding your strengths. Now, finally, what are the key takeaways? Key takeaway, if you have not taken anything away from this session tonight, is one, learn to build rapport through research and interest. Build rapport. For anybody. Yesterday, I was communicating, I was discussing with someone who is not a Nigerian. He's from Kenya. He's a part of my in my volunteering team. And because I needed to establish or build a rapport, I quickly went to ChatGPT. I said, please tell me something about Kenya. And Trust ChatGPT downloaded so much for me. And with that, I began to discuss with him, and we were flowing. And I said, oh, wow, you guys had this, you guys have this, you guys have that. How do you say, okay, I now learned that, in fact, they were the ones who usually say this Hakuna Matana. There was another language I learned, and I typed it and I sent to him. He was laughing. So this is a way of building rapport. Humans are emotional beings. We are all emotionally wired. If you can find a way to build a rapport between you and your interviewer, of course, you can trust that you have been able to get almost 50% of what you want. Use stories to illustrate your strengths. Keep the conversation two-way by asking questions. And of course, finally, show professionalism in your body language. There's a way you talk, and I will know that you are confident. And there's a way you also talk, respond to questions, and I will know you are timid. Every interview is a storytelling opportunity. Preparation, authenticity, and interest creates what? Impact. Remember that success is built on communication and connection. I can never stop talking about communication and connection. Go beyond the resume. Let your passion and professionalism shine. Let it not just be in the resume. You should have something beyond your resume. And this is what? Your interpersonal skills, your communication skills, your connection skills, your networking skills. So with all of this being said, I think I've been able to do some justice to my slides tonight. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And of course, building employability skills, I just did that as a giveaway. Employability skills, communication, like we've said, critical thinking, problem solving, time management, all of these things, you can go and learn more about them on Coursera. Go on Udemy. Go on LinkedIn. Go on YouTube. LinkedIn. So please make sure that you take your time to do your personal assignments before going for that interview. And as you appear for the interview, I wish you good luck and I wish you all the best. And of course, as you know, what we do at CBB Consultant is what you see on the platform. We're into talent recruitment, trainings, development, career coaching, and interview preparation tips. Thank you so much, Coach Damilola. I'm sorry because I know I have stolen so much into your time. I'll give you the platform now to take over from here. Questions, I will be here waiting for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Blessing. That was more than loaded, really. That really shows how passionate you are with what you do. Thank you so much. Despite not feeling so completely well, you still came and you delivered completely. Thank you so, so much. We really, really appreciate you. So, we have heard everything tonight. And if you have any question, please, within the next 2 minutes, please drop it. You can unmute yourself and speak quickly so that we can quickly get your question. And if you don't have any question, just help me say thank you to this amazing woman here. She has really sacrificed a lot to be here. The least we can tell her is thank you. And even after this session, please help me reach out to her on Instagram, on on LinkedIn and help me say thank you to her. She's an amazing woman. And I can assure you that if you get connected to this woman, you will get more than the value that you are bargaining for. Peter, Stephanie says, thank you so much for your words. Um, uh, thank you, Stephanie, for that. I'm expecting thank you from everybody. Please, that is the least you can do tonight. Please help me say thank you to this amazing woman. And at least you'll be able to dream of our thank yous, right? Isn't that good enough? Please, I know that is never going to be good enough, but that is the least we can offer her this night. And make sure that even after this night, you still reach out to her. Try to connect with her on all the social media handles, Blessing Aggreh, or CBB, on
Consultants.
Instagram and LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Coach Blessing, for tonight.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you, Coach
really, really
Dami.
appreciate you. And thank you.
And finally, and
Okay.
sorry, finally, for those of us that are here who are of course job searching, CBB Consultant, we have a platform where we drop job opportunities, job openings, and of course where we also give more tips on employability tips. So you can reach out to Coach Damilola for the link to join the community of goal getters. So if you'd like to join the community, please reach out to Coach Dami and she would send you the link to join. So just when we have the perfect job match for you, you can definitely let us know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so, so much, everybody. So without any question, I would like to say thank you again, Coach Blessing. It's always an honor to have you on this platform. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tonight. I would have to say good night, everybody, from here. So, because it's already very, very late already. Thank you all so much. I love you. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.